Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm Dr. Laurie Davis, and I'm broadcasting to you today solo, except for a visit from our founder, Jay Stoyan, a little later in the show. Today, we are streaming live. Excuse me for my foggy voice this morning. We're streaming live right here on the Disability Channel, the Laurie Davis Show host YouTube channel, lots of Facebook pages. Self-Worth, the Missing Link, Superstars, and I guess I'm the only one here today for now, and Laurie Davis Facebook page, and of course, big kudos to us for our partnership with Your Home TV. So lots and lots of platforms, and we're growing by leaps and bounds. So we're really excited about that, and we'd like to put out just a big thank you to all of you viewers and listeners who share the show. That's the only thing we ask, is that you share the show with others, because perhaps, you know what, just one thing that somebody on the show says could be the thing that someone else out there needs to hear to turn their life around. So we're all about that, and I'm excited to be here today to share a little bit of information that I have about wellness. We have Monday is self-care, which is kind of like wellness. Self-care, self-improvement, empowerment. Tuesday, we hook up with Dr. Ramin Modiri, and yesterday had a fun show just talking about what is money. And Wednesday is wellness. So today I'm going to talk about the 4 quadrants of the medicine wheel. So we'll talk about that. And Thursday is VIP, Voices of Indigenous People and Veterans, and hosting guests from those 2 communities on Thursdays. And then Friday is really kind of like a buffet. We have a celebrity coming up on Friday, Prince Fleet Easton from Palm Springs. He's going to talk about his journey in the showbiz world and how he started out at 5 and now is a mature performer, and the journey that he took. It'll be really fun. And those are kind of the themes. And then again on Tuesdays at 11 o'clock Mountain Time, I team up with Doug Smith, NHLer, and we have a show called The Press Box. And yesterday we talked to the amazing Kurt David, a former professional basketball player, and now he helps organizations and businesses talk about change. And isn't that a big topic? And I said, and my little 2 cents worth was, well, change comes in 2 boxes. One, you volunteer yourself and you welcome it, or life is going to force you to change, whether you like it or not. So that's our kind of like our lineup. And this is our second full week of the Today Show. And of course, with our partnership with Your Home TV, that puts us in a very large market in the United States. So we're excited about that. And we also, anyone who's on the show as a guest physically, they donate a prize. So I'll be donating a gift today because I'm it. And on Fridays, if you've been on the show live, you've made a comment, we put your name in a hat. And on Friday, we draw for prizes that have been donated by our speakers and our guests. So hang in there. And if you join the show today, we'll be writing your names down, and be sure to comment, because that helps the show to move along really quickly. And what you have to say matters. A lot of times we don't really put ourselves out there, do we? Because perhaps we have this feeling that what I have to say doesn't really matter. And that's not true. Everybody has something important to share. And what a great way to do that. And we'd welcome that today for sure. So I'm here for a while by myself, and we'll be talking about wellness. There I know a lot about wellness based on my own personal experience. I'm not a medical doctor or a practitioner in the healthcare industry, but I'm really all about alternative systems to help us stay well and to be well. So I consider myself to be healthy. I'm 70, I'll be 75 in July. Like, where did that go? And I don't take any medications for anything. And somebody asked me yesterday, what's your secret? What is your secret to that longevity and having all that energy? And I was a little bit naughty when I answered the question. I said, well, I think it's a combination of great sex, copious amounts of good wine, and a sense of humor. And I did get a laugh out of that. And it was all gentlemen in my meeting. But truly, I honestly know that it's because I've been able to heal myself from my traumas, and I've had a few, be able to pick myself back up, dust myself off, and keep on going no matter what the obstacles. And that all builds strength and character. And then it helps us to deal with life. And so life's really tough right now for a lot of people, especially post COVID. And according to my good friend Doug Smith, there's going to be, we have not seen the peak of the aftermath of COVID yet, and we won't see it until about this time next year. So everything's on at what he calls a trajectory, and it's just, we're just building. And we know that when we look at the situation with the mental health care system right now, the people that are not getting the help they need, it's overloaded, and everything now is all about mental health. But even that is an incorrect term, I believe. I'm going to talk about that. I don't think it's about mental health. I think it's about emotional wellness. That's what we really need to focus on, because when we say mental, I think the brain, brain health, being cognitive, functional, smart, that's brain health. But emotional wellness is a totally different ball of wax. And that's the area where I work and support others to get past the trauma so that they can be emotionally stable. And I believe that's really what mental health is in my world. Oh, Kathy asked, do you get your COVID shots? No. I have to say I declined the vaccine. Mainly because, and that's a good question, Kathy, thank you. I never had a sniffle all through COVID. I did be very responsible though, and I stayed home. I only masked up and gloved up and went for groceries, and if we had a medical appointment of some sort. But we opted out of getting the COVID shots, mainly because I don't take any medications of any kind, and I didn't really want anything foreign in there. And I don't know at the time, not saying now, but at the time when the vaccine became available, I understand the reasons for it and why people did it. I chose not to. But now I know people who've had the shots early on and have had all kinds of medical issues since, especially people in my generation. So, and my husband is a stroke survivor, and so it wasn't recommended for him because there's a history of blood clots in his family. So when that came up, we just made that decision. And I'm glad to hear that you had your shots, Kathy, and they worked fine for you. That's amazing. And we lost people because they didn't have their shots. They were in a vulnerable place. And I think a lot of people who got really sick were already compromised health-wise, and so they had other issues going on. So that's just my thoughts on that, Kathy, and thank you for bringing that up. When it comes to COVID, I was focusing a little more on the trauma attached to COVID. We still have people who have not come out of their houses because of fear, and there was lots of media to propagate that fear. So, if you actually touched another person, you might get COVID, and it was, it did a lot of damage emotionally. So we could do just a whole show on that alone. I should have invited Kathy to join me on the show today. Maybe Kathy, you'd like to do that. Let me know, and you can come on and talk with me if you like. We should have you on the show anyway, but I have a special time set aside for you. So, but keep the questions coming and comments. One of the things I'd like to mention today, while I have the time, is the last weekend in May. So that's May 31st, it's June 1st, and June 2nd. Once a quarter, once every 3 months, I and a friend of mine, a co-host, and I choose different people each time, we host an event called the Recovery and Performance Summit. 3 days. We have 18 speakers who come in and speak for 45 minutes on a situation in their life. They spend 15 minutes speaking about a certain situation that they've had that was traumatic for them. And the second 15 minutes is how they get out of that situation. So what did they do to get well? What did they do to recover? And then the third 15 minutes is about what are they doing today and how is their life today. So that's coming up right away here. And it costs $25 for a ticket. And you can get a ticket by emailing me or one of our speakers. And for the $25, you can come to any speaker, one speaker. You can come to the whole 3 days. So we have it set up so that you can come in and out at your leisure, in and out at your leisure. All of our speakers donate prizes. So we have prizes that we give out and give away. Yeah, it's really been very successful. And I keep a base of repeat speakers, and then I introduce new speakers each time we do a summit. So if that's something you're interested in, you can contact me personally at, where is my email here? I shall put it up here. So just email me and you can get your ticket here. And it's a really wonderful experience. And the reason I wanted to do it was because so many times when we're struggling, we feel alone. And we think we're the only person in the world that this could be happening to. When in fact, that's not the truth. There are many, many people who've had many, many challenges. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty convinced that not one person is going to escape this lifetime without some kind of trauma or event or sad time, or we're all going to lose loved ones. We're all maybe going to have a health challenge. We're all going to struggle with a broken marriage. You name it, man. And nobody's exempt. Nobody is exempt. And you can pay the $25. Good question. Just e-transfer to that email that I put up, and we'll take care of you. So just e-transfer in Canada to that address. And if you're in the United States, you can PayPal to that address that's on the screen right now. So, excuse me, I've got a little bit of a foggy throat this morning. So that's our recovery summit. And it's a beautiful event and really powerful people that we have speaking. And if that's something you'd be interested in doing, is sharing a recovery story, you can also email me at the same address, and we would send you the information that's necessary for you to speak at our next summit, which would be in the fall. All right. So this is the Today Show coming in from our mother network, the Disability Channel. Our founder, Jay, is going to pop in later on in the show. But I told him not to worry. I like to do the odd solo show because it gives me a chance to get grounded again with the audience and to share things that are going on. Let's see. So we give out when you're a guest on our show, Kathy Bell, who's communicating with us right now, she makes sure that you get a gift from the Disability Channel. And we have 3 electronic gifts that we give away. One is the signed copy of Jay's book, Flanagan's Life Inside an Irish Street Gang, which actually is now going to be featured in the television series. That's where he's talking right now, or was yesterday. The second one is his song that he wrote, Shining Light, and a copy of that. And then the third one is kind of a motivational clip. And Kathy knows more about that, so she wants to text up more about that. That would help. So you get a gift from us. And then I also donate a gift today. And I think today I'm going to donate an hour of my time. I gave a book away last week, but I think this week I'm going to give an hour of my time to just have you come in and spend an hour with me, like we're having a cup of coffee, and we can talk life and whatever. So that's what my gift will be today, because I'm the main feature today, other than Jay, who will hopefully join us when he's able. All right. Well, today I wanted to share, it's Wellness Wednesday, so I thought I better talk about wellness. And that's very easy for me to do, because many years ago, probably 20 years ago now, I developed 40 workshops called Responsible Wellness. And this is a process. My clients come for once a week, and they participate in their wellness workshop. And there's 40 of them. And we have workbooks that go with it. But it's really a system that helps us to stay on track. It makes us accountable to drink our water. We meet with 3 or 4 other people once a week, and it's kind of like a mastermind group, because we don't know everything about wellness, but people in the group do. And it's really quite fun. And it's very cost effective. And it's one of our most beautiful programs. We have lots of workshops, but that's 40 workshops in our wellness. You take 10 at a time. You take the first 10, and then if you like that, you can come back and take the next 10. So it's not like you have to sign up for 40 workshops. We stretch it out once a week because we like to give you time to practice what you're learning. And that's another feature. So it's just, okay. It's just Jay's book cover. No, I understand that. He doesn't want to give his book out just yet because it's being made into a TV series. So yeah, it's a signed copy of his book cover that you'll get electronically. Thank you, Kathy. And if you want to text up about the third prize, it has the Zen. I'm not really sure on that. So if you want to text that up, that would be great. Okay. So one of the systems that I like for wellness, and then we have many, but I could have picked one of 40 to share with you. But the one that I really love to work with, and that I use as a basis for a lot of my own work, comes from the Indigenous community, and it's called a medicine wheel. And it just kind of looks like this. I just like to use drawings because I think drawings really help paint the picture. So a medicine wheel kind of looks like that. It's broken up into 4 quadrants. And in some cultures, this represents the 4 directions: north, south, east, west. And the colors that are in here are usually white, red, yellow, black, or blue. And so if you see that, you'll see them sometimes hanging on people's mirrors in their car, or if you have Indigenous friends, they may have them in the form of a pair of earrings or a necklace or hanging on the wall. So that's the medicine wheel. And the medicine wheel is a guide to wellness, I think. I don't think, I know. And I have used it for many, many years as a guide to my own personal wellness. And as I said earlier, actually, when Kathy brought up about the COVID, I didn't get COVID, but 2 years ago, I had a little bleeding, and I went to the doctor, and I had cancer. And this is why it's so important to get things looked after. You know how sometimes we'll feel something, or we've got a pain, or we've got a swollen foot, or and we don't, I'm very alternative in the way I take care of myself, but sometimes, we need our medical professionals. And so I immediately got in to see my doctor, and she said, Laurie, I hate to tell you this, but that sure sounds like cancer. And I was devastated because there's very little cancer on my mom's side of the family, one or two incidents. And on my dad's side, it was mostly the men that had cancer. So and that was old, in later years. So anyway, I immediately got in for surgery. I had a hysterectomy. So they did a complete hysterectomy. And at my age, that's fine. But I just had a little cluster of cancer cells on the wall of my uterus. And so they were able to get it all. So I didn't have any treatments. I didn't have to do chemo. And I didn't even have to take painkillers, even because I wouldn't even I don't do pills. So a few Tylenol here and there, and even though I had been prescribed painkillers, I took a few, but not very many. And I came through that thing with flying colors, knock on wood. Now, a part of that, I think, has everything to do with the fact that I was in good health to start with. And also I had been working on, shedding some pounds, because over the years you gain weight as a woman. You go through menopause and you gain 50 pounds and you get hair up over your lip. We could do a whole show on that. So it was a wake-up call, though, and recognizing that early detection and taking care of things right away is really important. So I'm putting that out there today. So I have my own personal stories. So physically, I have enjoyed and been blessed with very good health. But a lot of that has to do with my attitude, my emotional wellness, and I'm going to talk about that because we're going to share the 4 quadrants, and all of those things pop up. So in one quadrant, what we're talking about right now is taking care of our physical wellness. So what does that mean? Well, that means getting enough rest, eating properly, walking more, getting some exercise. For me, I've always been a terrific sleeper, and I believe that sleep deprivation plays havoc with our health. So sometimes I don't get that water down like I want to, but I do like to cook. So we don't eat out very much, very little fast food, except for if it's a treat once in a while, if we're on the road. But I make sure we have a healthy, good dinner once a day, and breakfast and lunch sometimes, and maybe not sometimes, depending on the day and if I'm hungry. So proper diet, lots of rest. And if I have a late night and a busy day like today, it's not unusual for me to lay down in the afternoon for an hour, half an hour. And if I'm really tired, it can be 2 hours. And I used to be able to do that. I had to train myself because I couldn't sleep during the day. I had this idea that I couldn't sleep during the day. Duh. So I had to train myself. But it's amazing how when you're having your, I call them power naps, you wake up refreshed and you wake up with ideas and creativity. So I used to feel guilty about it because I always felt that I should be doing something. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't be laying down. I should be doing something. I should be, cleaning house, making calls, doing business, whatever. I'm just keeping, I don't usually have my phone on during the show, but I'm just keeping an eye on it. Okay, Jay says hi. We're doing great here, Jay. We're just talking about health and wellness and the quadrants of the traditional Aboriginal medicine wheel. So how are you doing physically? Like, for example, um, if I said on a scale of 0 to 10, how would you measure your physical condition at this time? Would it be 10? Is it perfect? I don't know that anyone's perfect. Would it be 9? Would it be 8? And here's how we're going to evaluate that. Okay. We are going to take a pencil, a colored pencil, and let's say the whole wedge is worth 10 points, 10 points. And I'd say my health, I put around at 8. Then what I'm going to do is give that some color. You can see where if it's 8, then it's going to look like this. It's going to look like this. So your physical wellness, where are you with that? And right now I'm really blessed to say that mine's in pretty good shape for an old girl. Oh, look who's here. Look who came to visit. Good morning.
Hey, Laurie. Morning. How are you?
Hey, we're doing great. Kathy and I are just talking away here, and she's texting and I'm talking, and we're having a good time, I think.
I like that graphic you were showing. What was that all about?
Well, this is today I'm talking about in the Indigenous community, they have a symbol called the medicine wheel, and they use it as a guide for health and wellness. So there's 4 quadrants. So the first one is physical. And I was just sharing, I'm going to share the 4 quadrants of the medicine wheel. And when we use that as a guide, it really keeps us balanced when it comes to taking care of ourselves.
Really? So when you say physical, what does that mean? Give us some examples.
Yeah, I just did. So for example,
I'm sorry, I missed it.
That's okay. Physical would be your body. You know, am I getting enough rest? Am I eating properly? Am I getting my exercise? Am I, getting to see a doctor if I need to see a doctor? Getting to a dentist. All these things that take care of us personally on a physical level. So that's one thing. And of course, our Indigenous people lived off the land before European contact. So they didn't really have a whole lot of physical issues, let's say, because they ate pure food, like they grew food and plant food and wild meat. And so with the European contact, that brought all that other stuff. Okay, so the next one is our mental wellness. And I want to make a comment on this, Jay, because there's a big movement towards mental health, and now everything is about mental health, and we've got people suffering from COVID with, mental health, and kids are stressed, so they've got mental health issues. And I don't really agree with that. For me, mental health means, and I use the balance wheel here to demonstrate this, mental health has to do with brain health. Brain. So am I cognitive? Am I smart? Can I read? Can I make decisions? Can I function mentally? To me, that's mental health. And so the other one that we'll add to the quadrant is emotional wellness. And that's really what's going on. It's not really mental health. That's the problem right now. It's a lack of emotional wellness. People can't cope. They have no coping skills. They're unstable. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So then what I'll do is, so where do I think I am mentally? So if our viewers ask themselves that question, where am I mentally? I would say I'm pretty up there. And you're probably pretty up there too, Jay.
So when you say when you're up there, what do you mean by up there? Mean you're on your game, or
Yes, you're on your game.
Or you're off your game?
Yeah, well, you're on your game. You get up every morning, your brain's working, you know how to do things, get creative, be resourceful. To me, that's mental health, brain health.
That's great. I like that. I like that perspective. That's very, very interesting, Laurie. I like
Well,
that.
that's Laurie's perspective.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah. So let's say as a viewer, I'm feeling that my mental health is like about a 7. If it's 10, we get to color in the whole thing. It'd be perfect. So I gave myself about a 7 because I am at that space and time where I maybe walk into a room and I forget why I'm there. That's mental health.
So tell me again, when it comes to mental health, what are the sort of the I guess the PowerPoint things that you just mentioned a couple of seconds ago? What were they again?
Well, being able to function cognitively, make sense out of things, make decisions.
But getting your rest, right? Like sleeping
Oh,
well.
that's the physical. Yes,
Oh, that's a
getting your
physical. I'm sorry. Yeah, getting
yeah,
your. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
getting
Okay.
your
Okay.
rest, eating
Eating
properly.
properly.
Where are we with that?
So mental
Right?
health is more like if you're on your game, right? Sort of like
Yeah,
on
like
being on
your
your game.
brain's working. Your
Okay.
brain is working,
Good.
right? And functional.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are the four quadrants of the medicine wheel. And these are the actual areas that they share that we need to be having in place in order to be well. So the next one is what I call, well, this is standard in the medicine wheel, emotional wellness. So this would be um, surviving trauma, being able to have some tools in place to be emotionally stable. You don't lose a fingernail and then lose your cookies. Um, you know, uh, Not reacting so much as just not taking things personally and not reacting like a lot of people. Something happens and then they have a knee jerk reaction. A lot of us act like little kids, even though we're adults, and we react like a little kid would react. But that's that little dude inside of you that's still in control of your emotions. So we do a lot of work around that. This is actually my area of expertise, emotional
Wow.
wellness.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's really
So,
that's very cool. I like this.
okay, so let's say you're out there right now and you're not doing so great and you're struggling and your relationships, you can't keep a healthy relationship. Your family communication is all bent out of shape, or that can affect how we feel and it can affect our emotions. And of course, we've all had trauma. So let's say my emotional wellness right now is like a 5. So it would look like this. I colored the wrong section. Yeah, I did. I'm looking at it upside down. But this is what erasers are for,
That's
right?
right. And remember, you're live, right? So
I
you're a
know.
you're a juggler. You're a juggler. You got to be a
Yeah.
juggler.
So let's say right now I'm struggling. I've got PTSD, or I'm, not feeling safe with myself, or I'm thinking about maybe suicidal ideation, or I'm not feeling good.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Emotional wellness. So I gave this isn't mine, but maybe some of our viewers are like about a 5, and so this is how you'd color it in your wheel. Okay.
I like the way you're breaking it down.
Thank you.
Very,
That's what I do. It
very
takes.
simple. Like very simple form. It's
Yeah.
very easy to
Thank you.
understand. I like
Thank
that.
you. And then the last one is our spiritual wellness. And this is I'm always very general about this because, some people go to church, some people believe in the creator, higher power, God, Buddha. But you know that there's something bigger than yourself out there, and your spiritual wellness. And most people are on a path. I might have started out a Catholic, but now I practice, something totally different. So where
I'd
are
like to
you there?
share.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to share something that somebody shared with me about the last one, spiritual awareness. And
Okay.
the person, I won't say who it is, but it was a pretty prominent person in the media industry. And we're just talking about what's going on today, and it came around spiritually, right? And he said to me, do you believe, like, do you have somebody that I said, oh, I'm a firm believer in God. I'm, he's my pal. Like, I couldn't get through life without God for myself. It's something that has really helped me, and somebody I can lean on, and somebody who educates me, somebody I have a love affair with God. I love it. Like, it's great, right? And he said, great. And he goes, but you don't have to believe in God. You can believe in, whatever. You can have your own beliefs and all that. And he goes, but the trouble is if you don't believe, for people who do not believe in a higher power, whatever that is, whatever that high, what they believe in is the next shiny object. That's their spiritual outlet, is the next shiny object. And eventually that shiny object, like, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable where, and I'll give you an example. He goes, money, right? A lot of people, their spiritual awareness is money. And they said that doesn't end well. That does not end well. And a lot of people who don't have that higher calling for whatever it may be, maybe it's Buddha, maybe it's Allah, maybe it's God, maybe whatever, right? Maybe it's Bill Maher. I don't know. But I'm just saying, if you don't have that higher belief, it's very difficult to get by in life because you're always grasping for artificial and material things. Right. So I just wanted to share that with with our viewers.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
So maybe spiritually I'm about an 8 or a 7 or a so then I took a black marker and I just outlined my wheel here. Okay. As I'm evaluating, so where am I physically out of 10, mentally, spiritually, emotionally? Because these are the 4 areas that drive us. These are the 4 areas we need in place in order to move forward. So if this was, Jay, let me ask you a question. I'm going to turn it around.
Yeah, ask me a question.
Yeah. So you see how this shape is inside the circle?
Yeah.
If this was one tire on your vehicle, how far do you think you'd get?
Huh. Not very. That's a great question.
Yeah. So how, like if that inside shape, like let's say this is my tire.
Yeah.
And it's sunk here, and it's sunken here, and it's sunken here, and it's sunk in here. How far am I going to get?
Exactly. Not very.
Not even up the driveway, man.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. I love that. That's really wow, and it's pretty simple form, like straightforward, very straightforward. And those are I like those 4 compartments. Like physical, and so okay. So let me ask you this. Okay, so I'm going to give you a question per square. We'll call it, right?
Okay.
So physical. So what happens if you're at a point in your life where the physicality is really waning, like it's really because you have mobility issues. So and you don't got to answer me now. I just want to throw questions out there, and then maybe what we can do is post it. So if you're an older gentleman or lady, or if you have mobility, so being physical is very difficult for you. Maybe we can put some suggestions on Facebook, and maybe I kind of want to put you on the spot now, Laurie. So that's just one of my questions.
That's okay.
Right?
Ask away.
And then the other one would be mental health. So, so I give an example. So to go see a psychiatrist or a therapist or usually you see them, do you not, when you're at your low point? Like I know people see them when they're at their high point, but you don't generally go see a therapist when you're riding high. It's usually when you're riding low. So that's another thing I've always been thinking about. Like the therapist doesn't see you at your best. They don't really know you at your best. So they're suggesting things on your current state, which I guess is fair enough, because what else are they going to do? But I've always had a kind of thinking about that. The next one would be emotional. I'm a Cancer. So my emotions live on my sleeve. You can tell how I'm feeling right away because I don't know how to hide my emotions. But I'm not emotionally crazy. You know what I mean? I don't go like off the rails. Only sometimes when I get mad, I do. Anger, I do. I have a little bit, not an anger issue, but I get angry. I do get angry, right? And then the last one would be what was spiritual wellness, which we already talked about with Lord. So I just wanted to share my sort of feedback with you. And I'd love for our viewers to share their feedback, especially I want to hear from the veterans, right? Like I love the way you say the spiritual, and that's so like in tune with our platform. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, what I do when I wake up maybe and I have a pain or an ache, because at my age you do have those. But I learned a long time ago, and our guest on Monday, if you remember, Dr. Patricia Crane, and she shared Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. Okay. So at the back of this book, and we'll just have a little fun with it today. At the back of this book, Louise Hay was the first person to say, if you've got physical stuff going on, there's usually an emotional root. So just for fun. So in the back is you name the situation and I'll look it up. So let's start with headaches, because a lot of people have headaches
Okay.
and they downplay it, or they say, well, it's in my family, or I had a stress at work, whatever. But Louise says, when you're having headaches, it's invalidating the self criticism and fear. Hmm.
Hmm.
So the affirmation attached to that is, I love and approve of myself. I see myself what I do with the eyes of love. I'm safe. Now, I had a client had brought up 4 boys, spent 3 to 4 days in bed with excessive migraines. Couldn't eat, didn't have a banana or a piece of chocolate in 20 years because she was told that triggers it. And I have to say that after she participated, and I can't make medical claims, but after realizing that that was an emotional root cause for those migraines, those headaches disappeared.
Wow, really?
So that's the work that I do. All right. What's another one you want to look? What's another one that people get? Maybe somebody, Kathy, might want to put one up. Let's say indigestion. You know how a lot of people have indigestion,
Yeah,
heartburn.
yeah.
Okay, she said at the gut level, this is gut level fear, dread, anxiety, fear of the future.
Hmm.
And the affirmation is, I digest and assimilate all new experiences with peace and joy rather than being afraid. So when my
Wow.
clients
Very
come and
nice.
work, I go, let's have some fun. What's wrong with you right now? What's going on? So physically, as you said, what's happening. And it's not just old people. Do you know that I see young people at the grocery store in walkers and on scooters, way younger than me?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So what's going
Yeah.
on? What is
I don't know
going
what's
on?
going on. I don't know what's going on. But let me share
And
some. Let me share some.
yeah,
Okay, go ahead. No, I'm sorry. No, no, you go ahead. No, no, you go ahead.
no.
Continue.
Well, then,
Continue on.
mentally, we have to do things to stay smart. So that's why I chose to be a lifelong learner. Retirement was never in my vocabulary. I get up and I go to work every day. I don't have a problem with that because it keeps me sharp,
Nice.
right?
Nice. Yeah.
Most of my teacher friends years ago who retired, they're dead now. They didn't last any time.
It didn't last, eh?
No.
Stress. Stress will get you.
Yeah. Or coming
Stress
away
will.
from the stress, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So no, I
So
just want to. I just wanted to update our viewers a little bit, if that's okay.
yes, please do. Enough of that.
Well, I'm really excited because I did a review regarding our analytics, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
the Today Show alone on the Facebook platform is up to an average of close to 200 views per show. And that's
Wow.
just on Facebook, because remember, this is live on your home TV in the United States. So I'm going to be accumulating to see how many views we are getting, but I'm very encouraged just by our own platform. Like I said, I think it's like 180, 190, and then we're going to edit the show and we're going to send it out. So we're getting a view. So I really want to thank our viewers and our listeners for supporting the show and interacting. I'm very happy actually, because we're a mom and pop shop, but we're growing. We're growing so much. I got some added news too. So this morning we had a wonderful positive meeting with the Southern University of Illinois regarding our employment programs going into the United States, and they have officially signed off as our educational platform partner. So
Beautiful.
this is really big because our platform is all about education, and we have Mohawk here in Canada, Mohawk College, which is they're our educational partner here in Canada for our employment programs here. And we were going to use them in the States. They qualified and everything, and they were all good. But the USA just said, because we'd rather, if it's okay with you, you attach a US college or university. sure, that's okay. That's up, your call. So, like I said, we had a meeting today. We went through the opportunities that we're offering for our programs. We have the property down there, courtesy Project Diehard in Illinois, 20 acres, 10,000 square foot building. And now we have the Southern University of Illinois on board as our partner. So the next step is what we do is now we go to the state governor, we go to the state VA, we go to the state ministries. Well, they're not called ministries down in states like that are up here, and then that's where we go get the funding. And then we open the door, and we're working hard to get our veterans and persons with disabilities teach them a new skill in media, and then take them to the games, take them to the Invictus games. That's our plan. Nice. So I really want to thank everybody for supporting this. I want to give a big shout out to Brian and his team, and Sue and Kurt. I want to thank Southern University of Illinois for being so kind and taking our call in the time and signing on. They loved it. They said, "Oh, this is great. We love what you guys do." And they checked us out. So we were on your website. We see all your affiliates, your associates. We see your track record. So we're really excited, because it's all about offering more opportunities, employment opportunities to persons with disabilities and our heroes, which are veterans, right? So I just wanted to sort of update everybody. I'm going to have to get going, unfortunately, Laurie, as I have another appointment and I got to prep. But I thank you for letting me. I really thank you for letting me pop in and pop out and pop in and pop out.
No, because that's fine.
You know what I mean? And I thank you for holding down the fort. You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you very much.
Okay, everybody.
Today.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right. Always a pleasure to see our founder and talk with Jay. And he's always, what I love about Jay, he always has such good questions. He knows how to not play the devil's advocate. I don't mean that way, but he always poses questions that we have to think what we're going to say in return, which is always good. That's a class act interviewer, actually, who can do that. So I'm blessed to have him on side in my world. And yeah, so we were talking about the medicine wheel, and so there it is. And as long as we're conscious of the fact that we need to be working in all those 4 areas all the time to keep that balance, that's our secret to wellness. And I'm so grateful to have learned that many years ago. So what I'd like to do now is just take a little break, and I'm going to put up a little 30-second break, catch my breath, get some water. And when I come back, I'm going to talk about how you can be part of the show through sponsorship, advertising, etc. Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to the Today Show, our mother network, the Disability Channel. We're also right now streaming live on Laurie Davis' Facebook page, Self-Worth the Missing Link Superstars Facebook page, the Disability Channel Facebook page, my YouTube channel, Laurie Davis Show Host, Your Home TV, streaming live there right now as well throughout the United States. And so, wow, it's just been amazing, the growth in the last couple of weeks. And Jay did share some analytics, I think he calls them, for logging in and views. And right now, just on Facebook alone, 200 views. That's awesome. That's amazing. All right. So, Kathy, what did you have to say? I find that exercise helps me when I'm mentally off riding my bike. I used to do a lot of jogging and I got a high, but not now so much. I'm 66. Oh, you're just a chick. My girl, get some years in. Just say, good for you. And yes, physical activity does support the mental and vice versa, and emotional. And, when things get a little stressful, I just take my dog for a walk and I come back and I'm feeling terrific. So that little 30-second spot, we have 4 of those available each quarter on. I haven't done it today, but every 15 minutes we'll run our commercials. So if you have a special product, program, or service that you would like to advertise on the show, even one episode or 10 episodes or however many, I'm just going to put my email up here and just contact me and I'll give you all the information you need to feature your product, program, or service. And also, too, we're always, because we're a nonprofit organization, we're always looking for donations, and you can do that by going to the disabilitychannel.ca website. That's the disabilitychannel.ca, and donate if you like. And, a corporate sponsor, we'd love to have a corporate sponsor just for the Today Show. And actually, I'm working on getting a corporate sponsor for each day of the week, 5 different ones. One for Mondays, which is self-care. One for Tuesday, which is finance. I have a bank in mind that I want to get. And number 3 is wellness, and that could be any number of companies and corporations. Thursday, Voices of Indigenous People and Veterans, our VIP day. And then on Friday, featuring authors, celebrities, athletes, influencers, people who are making a difference on our show on Friday. So I'm envisioning a sponsor for each one of those days. So that's what I'm working on when I'm not on the air. So looking after keeping the show alive and keeping the channel alive, because that then contributes to our employment projects. So there's training available for anybody, particularly veterans and the disabled community. If you want a career in the media, please contact us because we have the goods and we can help you with that. So it's all about providing services, products, programs, information. I'm trusting that the information today was valuable. And that's just one of the many wheels that we do. We have a wheel that helps us to evaluate the 8 areas of our life on top of that. So I could put this wheel on top of the other one and it would cover it, but it's broken down into 8 sections. We have a balance wheel for your business. We do balance wheels for your business to see where you're out of whack. And we also have a balance wheel for couples. What is that relationship looking like and where do we need to make changes and improvements? So we're the circle people, I guess you could call us. And so I started introducing that today by showing you the medicine wheel, which is an Indigenous tool that is used to guide and direct community members to getting better every single day. Isn't that beautiful? We have so much to learn from each other. And that's why I love all of our cross-cultural activities and events. I've worked in all 4 races, we'll call it. So I've been to Asia. Our products went to Taiwan in 2007. The Indigenous community, been working there for 25 years on and off reserve. The Caucasian community, all kinds of white people, we need help too. And of course, our Black community. And actually, my first project in the Black communities was my first 6 years of teaching school. I took a job in a 100% Black school and community. And I had such an amazing experience. That's a story all on its own. So, and I was young and I didn't know anything and I was green as grass, but I wanted to work there and I got a job there. And then the women in the school, the more mature teachers, took me under their wing and they became my mentors in my early days. So I've had some incredible people in my life, all of my life, and I still have incredible people in my life because I seek them out. In order to move forward, we need mentors. We need people who've been there, done that. And that's what brings me into announcing our Recovery Summit coming up in a week or so, where you can come in for $25 and listen to 18 speakers share their powerful stories of recovery. And we spread it out over 3 days. And you can come in and listen to one speaker. You can come in and listen to all speakers. And if you want a ticket, just let me know. Email me and you can e-transfer your $25 and you'll get an invoice or a receipt. And also, if you are in the States, I have a PayPal account with the same address as is on the screen. So you can pay for your tickets directly to me and come and join us, because we all have powerful recovery stories. And it inspires us when we hear other people who had a situation that may be similar to mine, and then they share tips on how they got out of that situation. That's the information I think needs to be shared. What did you do to get out of that abusive marriage? What did you do to get through that nasty divorce? What did you do when you lost a child? What did you do when you lost your loved one? It's amazing. The stories are amazing. So put that on your calendar and email me, and I'll send you a poster or posters of the speakers and what they're going to be talking about. We have Friday posters going out later today or early tomorrow, and then a poster for Saturday and Sunday. All right, so thank you for being here. Tomorrow is VIP, Voices of Indigenous People and Veterans, and I'm looking forward to a potential guest for tomorrow. If not, I've broadcast for years solo, so I can always fill the boots, but I love having the guests. And then on Friday, we'll be talking to Prince Fleet Easton from Palm Springs, California, and he's going to share his story of his career in showbiz since he was 5 until the present day as a mature performer. So I'm Dr. Laurie Davis signing off. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And a special shout out to our colleague, Kathy Bell, who filled us in there and is always here to watch the show and keep on top of things. So bye for now. Talk to you tomorrow, and have a great rest of the day.